samalitam yena tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Panchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhaya. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Alright, here's a question. As in material work, we want to finish the task. So this tendency remains also in spiritual life. We want to finish our chanting and finish our reading, but we don't relish. How can we avoid this?
हरे कृष्णा. तो भक्त का प्रश्न है कि जैसे भौतिक जगत में हम हर एक चीज को जल्दी से खत्म करना चाहते हैं, उसी तरह से हमारा इच्छा होता है कि चैंटिंग और रीडिंग जैसी चीजों को भी जल्द से जल्द फिनिश हो जाए हमारा. तो हम इससे कैसे बच सकते हैं?
Well, you can never finish chanting and reading. There's always more chanting and reading to be done.
हम कभी भी अपना जप और रीडिंग फिनिश नहीं कर सकते, हमेशा इसको और करने की जरूरत है.
So it's actually wrong to think that I finished my chanting or I finished my reading.
तो ये ऐसा सोचना गलत है कि मैं अपना जप खत्म कर लूं या रीडिंग खत्म कर लूं.
How can we relish our chanting and reading more? By doing more reading and chanting.
तो चैंटिंग और रीडिंग में अपना रुचि और कैसे बढ़ा सकते हैं? और ज़्यादा चैंटिंग और रीडिंग करके.
We have to read with more attention and with more purpose. It's a good idea to read with other devotees, and then not just reading but discussing and explaining something.
तो महाराज बता रहे हैं कि हमें रीडिंग जो है और ज़्यादा ध्यान पूर्वक और भी लक्ष्य के साथ करना चाहिए. हमें अच्छा होगा कि हम अगर भक्तों के साथ में मिलकर पढ़ेंगे और उस पर चर्चा भी करेंगे.
Prabhupada explains like that in one purport. He said more important than reading is discussing together and explaining to each other.
श्रील प्रभुपाद जी बताते हैं कि केवल पढ़ने से ज़्यादा अच्छा है उसको आपस में चर्चा करना और एक दूसरे को समझाना.
And finishing our chanting, we should understand we have always got more chanting to do. Chanting is something which should go on continuously.
और जो जप को जल्दी खत्म करने की बात है तो हमें समझना होगा कि हमारा जप तो है हमेशा चलते रहना चाहिए.
Lord Chaitanya says, Kirtaniya sada Hare, always chant the holy name.
चैतन्य महाप्रभु कहते हैं कीर्तनिया सदा हरि, हमेशा भगवान के दिव्य नामों का जप करना चाहिए.
So we want to chant with the purpose that we're chanting for Krishna. We want to attract Krishna by our chanting.
तो हम जब जप करते हैं उसका लक्ष्य होना चाहिए कि हम भगवान को प्रसन्न करें, उनको आकर्षित करें.
It's not that we're just chanting out of duty. Oh, I promised I would chant 16 rounds, so I better do it. And you do it mechanically, and you think, now, okay, now I've finished my 16 rounds. So that kind of mechanical thinking, that is not very good.
तो महाराज बता रहे हैं कि एक मैकेनिकल तरह से चैंटिंग करना कि मैंने 16 माला करने का प्रॉमिस किया है तो मेरे को करना पड़ेगा और मैं उसको खत्म करता हूँ, ये कोई बहुत अच्छा विचार नहीं है.
Yeah, rather we have to understand, we do these different activities like chanting and reading and studying. We do them, we're doing it for Krishna. We want to develop our relationship with Krishna.
तो चैंटिंग रीडिंग जैसी ये सारी भक्तिमय सेवा हम भगवान की प्रसन्नता के लिए करते हैं, हम अपना भगवान से संबंध स्थापित करना चाहते हैं.
So we want to feel more that mood that we're trying to cultivate our relationship with Lord Krishna.
तो हमें ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा इस पर विचार करना चाहिए कि हम भगवान से इन एक्टिविटीज़ के द्वारा अपना संबंध कैसे बना रहे हैं.
Don't just think, oh, I have to do it, it's my duty, I better do it. But think, I want to do this for Krishna, I want to come closer to Krishna, I want to know Krishna.
तो केवल एक ड्यूटी समझकर उसको नहीं करना चाहिए कि मुझे ख़त्म करना है तो करना ही पड़ेगा, कर लेते हैं. हम भगवान से और ज़्यादा नज़दीक होना चाहते हैं, भगवान से संबंध बनाना चाहते हैं.
So we want to develop that kind of consciousness that trying to please Krishna.
तो हमें ऐसी चेतना को कल्टीवेट करना है कि हम भगवान की प्रसन्नता के लिए करें.
Right? The attitude is very important. We heard last night that everything depends on our attitude.
तो कल शाम को हमने सुना था कि एटीट्यूड बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट है, हर चीज़ हमारे एटीट्यूड पर निर्भर करता है.
So our attitude should be, I'm doing this for Krishna, to please Krishna, to come nearer to Krishna.
तो हमारा एटीट्यूड होना चाहिए कि मैं भगवान की प्रसन्नता के लिए ये कर रहा हूँ और भगवान के नज़दीक आने के लिए ये प्रयास कर रहा हूँ.
Okay, we'll go ahead. We're up to number 20 now. We've got something like 89 questions, you know. So we're not short of questions. This question says, how can we increase our sincerity and bhakti? Because sometimes I feel sincere, but most of the time I'm not sincere in bhakti.
तो भक्त का प्रश्न है कि भक्ति में अपने सिंसियरिटी मैं कैसे बढ़ा सकता हूँ, और ज़्यादातर मुझे लगता है कि मैं सिंसियर नहीं हूँ, कभी कभी लगता है कि थोड़ा सिंसियरिटी है.
Well, yes, sincerity it's important that we want to be genuine in our efforts to cultivate devotion to Krishna.
सिंसियरिटी बहुत महत्वपूर्ण है और हम भगवान से के प्रति अपना संबंध स्थापित करने के लिए जेन्युइन एफर्ट्स करना चाहते हैं.
So association again is very important. That's a crucial factor, that if you associate with devotees who are sincere, then you will also cultivate sincerity.
तो इसमें भक्तों के संग का बहुत महत्व है. अगर हम ऐसे भक्तों का संग करते हैं जो सिंसियर हैं, तो हम भी सिंसियर होंगे.
You say most of the time I'm not sincere, but somehow you're still here in Krishna consciousness, you're still in the association of devotees, so you have some sincerity which keeps you here in the connection to the Krishna consciousness movement.
तो आपने बताया है कि आप ज़्यादातर समय सिंसियर नहीं रह पाते, लेकिन आप यहाँ पर हैं, अभी भी भक्तों के साथ लगे हुए हैं. इसका मतलब है कि आपके अंदर कुछ सिंसियरिटी तो है.
So that's important. If you have that good association, then you should feel inspired by the people you're with. You want to associate with people who are more advanced, who are better than you are in devotion.
तो अगर आप ऐसे भक्तों का संग करेंगे जो आपसे और ज़्यादा एडवांस हैं, तो उससे आपका भी सिंसियरिटी बढ़ेगा.
Just like, when I was studying at college, I remember they used to say that if you associate with the good students, then it will help you also to be a better student.
जैसे कि जब मैं कॉलेज में पढ़ता था, तो वो बोलते थे कि अगर आप अच्छे बच्चों के साथ रहोगे तो आप भी अच्छे बच्चे बनोगे.
If you associate with people who do all the tutorials and who write up all the lab reports and everything, then you will go along, you'll also do your tutorials and lab reports, and you can benefit from being with them. Like maybe you can't do the tutorial, but somebody who's a good student, he can do it, and you learn from him.
तो उसी तरह से जैसे कि अगर आप ऐसे, आपके दोस्त ऐसे हैं जो ट्यूटोरियल्स करते हैं, लैब के सारे काम पूरा करते हैं, तो आपका भी ज़्यादा चांस है कि आप भी वैसे बनेंगे. और अगर आपको करना नहीं आता तो आप उनसे सीख लोगे.
So devotional service is like that. You want to find out those devotees who are a bit more advanced than we are and try to hold on, get close to them and associate with them.
तो भक्ति का यही विधि है कि हम अपने से ज़्यादा एडवांस डिवोटी को ढूंढें और उनका संग करें और उस संग में बने रहें.
Be eager to be with them and to hear from them.
और उनका संग पाने के लिए हम उत्साहित रहें और उनसे श्रवण करने के लिए भी.
And that good association that will help you also to advance in Krishna consciousness.
और वो अच्छा एसोसिएशन आपको मदद करेगा भक्ति में आगे बढ़ने के लिए.
And this continues to the next question, because the next question asks how to increase our interest in chanting, reading and devotional services.
तो ये अगला प्रश्न भी इसी के साथ में ही है कि चैंटिंग, रीडिंग और भक्तिमय सेवा में अपना इंटरेस्ट कैसे बढ़ाया जा सकता है.
And so again, if you make friends with people who are doing these things, then you will also take an interest in these things.
तो इसमें भी वही है कि अगर आप ऐसे भक्तों का संग करेंगे जो इन चीजों में इंटरेस्ट रखते हैं, तो फिर आप भी वैसे ही बनेंगे.
Of course, you have to have an interest. You have to have a desire to want to do these things.
ये बात तो है कि आपके अंदर भी इच्छा होना चाहिए ये सब करने का.
Oh, anyway, so the question, he's asking how to increase my interest in these things.
तो प्रश्न ये पूछें कि इसमें कैसे इंटरेस्ट और बढ़ाया जा सकता है.
So he has some interest. He wants to have more interest.
तो आपके पास कुछ इंटरेस्ट है, आप और ज्यादा इंटरेस्ट बनाना चाहते हो.
So it's the same principle. You got to find out people who do better chanting and who read more and who do more devotional service than you and try and associate with them.
तो इसका भी वही उत्तर है कि ऐसे भक्तों का संग करें जो बहुत अच्छा जप करते हैं, ज़्यादा अच्छे से पढ़ते हैं शास्त्रों को और भक्ति में सेवा में और अच्छे से लगते हैं. तो ऐसे भक्तों का और अच्छे से संग करना होगा.
Okay, we'll go ahead. What should be our mood while doing any service and how to maintain consciousness?
कोई भी सेवा करते हुए हमारा मूड क्या होना चाहिए और हम सेवा की चेतना कैसे बनाएं?
Well, yeah, how to maintain consciousness, right? First you have to be conscious and then you have to be Krishna conscious.
तो पहले आपको चेतन होना होगा और फिर आप कृष्ण भावना भावित हो पाएंगे.
So you don't want to just maintain consciousness. All living entities are conscious.
सारे जीव जो है वो चेतन ही हैं.
But what we're interested in is Krishna consciousness.
हम जिसमें इच्छुक हैं वो है कृष्ण भावनामृत.
So how can we maintain our Krishna consciousness?
तो हम अपनी कृष्ण भावना को कैसे बना के रखें?
And we don't want to just maintain it. We want to expand it and improve it.
और हम केवल उसको बस बनाए नहीं रखना चाहते, हम उसको और बढ़ाना चाहते हैं और अच्छा करना चाहते हैं.
Sometimes they give the example that the arrow, if you fire an arrow, it has to be going forward. If it's not going forward, it will just go down.
कई बार वो एक एरो का, तीर का उदाहरण देते हैं कि अगर आपने एक तीर चलाया है तो वो तीर सीधा आगे बढ़ते जाना चाहिए. अगर वो रुक जाएगा तो नीचे गिर जाएगा.
So we don't want to just maintain consciousness. We want to develop our consciousness, increase our consciousness.
तो हम अपनी चेतना को एक ही स्तर पर बनाए नहीं रखना चाहते, हम उसको और बढ़ाना चाहते हैं और अच्छा करना चाहते हैं.
And when I talk about consciousness, I'm meaning Krishna consciousness.
और जब मैं यहाँ चेतना की बात कर रहा हूँ तो मतलब कृष्ण भावना की बात कर रहा हूँ.
And what should be our mood in doing service? Our mood should be, I'm doing this for Krishna.
और जब हम सेवा कर रहे हैं तो हमारा क्या मूड होना चाहिए? ये होना चाहिए कि हम भगवान की सेवा कर रहे हैं.
I'm very fortunate. I've been given an opportunity to do some service for Krishna.
मैं बहुत सौभाग्यशाली हूँ, मुझे भगवान की सेवा करने का कुछ मौका मिला है.
So that kind of mood is important, that we're working for the pleasure of Krishna, and we want to do it with love, with enthusiasm.
तो ये चेतना कि मैं भगवान की प्रसन्नता के लिए कर रहा हूँ, ये बहुत अच्छा है और इसे हम प्रेम के साथ और उत्साह के साथ करना चाहते हैं.
We should be thinking, I'm very fortunate to be given some service for Krishna.
और हमें ये सोचना चाहिए कि मैं बहुत सौभाग्यशाली हूँ कि मुझे कुछ सेवा दिया गया है भगवान के करने के लिए.
After many lifetimes in the material world, so I've been given this opportunity to do some service for the Supreme Lord Krishna.
इस भौतिक जगत में अनेक जन्मों के बाद इस जन्म में मुझे अब ये मौका मिला है कि मैं भगवान की कुछ सेवा करूं.
Everyone's doing service, but they're serving so many other people.
सब कोई ना कोई सेवा कर रहा है, लेकिन वो दूसरों की सेवा कर रहे हैं.
The mother serving her child or her husband.
जो माता है वो अपने बच्चे की सेवा कर रही है या फिर अपने पति की सेवा करती हैं.
The husband serving his company or serving his country.
और जो हस्बैंड है वो अपनी कंपनी या फिर अपने देश का सेवा कर रहा है.
The politicians are supposed to be serving their country.
और जो पॉलिटिशियंस हैं वो भी ऐसा है कि वो देश की सेवा करते हैं.
Some people are serving their dog and their cat.
कुछ लोग अपने कुत्ते और बिल्ली की सेवा करते हैं.
Everyone's engaged in service. That's the nature of the soul.
हर कोई व्यक्ति कुछ ना कुछ सेवा कर रहा है क्योंकि ये आत्मा का स्वरूप है.
Dharma means engaging in service. Our dharma is to be engaged in service.
तो धर्म है मतलब कि सेवा में नियुक्त होना.
But that service becomes perfect when it's directed towards Krishna.
लेकिन वो सेवा तब परफेक्ट होता है जब वो भगवान के लिए किया जाता है.
So we should think how fortunate I've been that after many lifetimes in the material world, somehow now I've been given this opportunity to do service for Krishna.
तो हमें ये समझना चाहिए कि कई जन्मों के बाद हमें ये मौका मिला है सेवा करने का और हमें इस अपना पूर्ण सौभाग्य समझना चाहिए.
So we should value, we should treasure this opportunity.
और हमें इस मौके का पूरा लाभ उठाना चाहिए.
And if you're not in Krishna consciousness, then still you'll be doing service. You'll be forced to serve the senses.
और अगर आप कृष्ण भावनामृत में नहीं हैं तो भी आपको सेवा करने की मजबूरी है. आप अपनी इंद्रियों की सेवा करेंगे.
Serve our mind.
अपने मन की सेवा करेंगे.
And the mind can be the enemy when it's not directing us to Krishna's service.
और हमारा मन हमारा शत्रु हो सकता है अगर वो हमें भगवान की सेवा करने के लिए प्रेरणा नहीं देता.
So we want to understand very carefully our good fortune in having the opportunity to do service for Krishna.
तो हमें बहुत ध्यानपूर्वक बहुत अच्छे से समझना होगा हमारा कितना बड़ा सौभाग्य है कि हमें भगवान की सेवा करने का मौका मिल रहा है.
Okay, next question. How does Lord Krishna reciprocate with neophyte devotees?
भगवान कृष्ण जो नए भक्त हैं उनके साथ किस तरह से आदान प्रदान करते हैं?
Well, it will depend on the devotee and his situation.
ये उस भक्त और उसकी स्थिति पर निर्भर करता है.
For some people, he may take away everything from them to help them become Krishna conscious.
कुछ लोगों के लिए भगवान उनसे सब कुछ छीन सकते हैं उन्हें कृष्ण भावनामृत में आगे बढ़ाने के लिए.
Right. Lord Krishna says, when I am very merciful to someone, then I take away all of their attachments, and then in that helpless condition, then they surrender to me.
भगवान कृष्ण कहते हैं कि जब मैं किसी के ऊपर बहुत दया करता हूँ तो उसके सारा जो उसका अटैचमेंट है वो मैं छीन लेता हूँ और उस स्थिति में हेल्पलेस स्थिति में वो फिर मेरे प्रति और शरणागत होते हैं.
And sometimes Lord Krishna may give things to a devotee to help them to come closer to Krishna consciousness.
और कई बार भगवान उस भक्त को बहुत कुछ दे सकते हैं उसको कृष्ण भावनामृत में आगे बढ़ने के लिए.
They may see, oh, these devotees, they're having a nice life, they're living in a nice building, and they're eating nice food, and they're happy.
तो वो हो सकता है कोई देखकर आकर्षित हो कि इन भक्तों के पास अच्छी बिल्डिंग में रहते हैं, अच्छा इनका जीवन है, अच्छा इनको प्रसाद मिलता है, वो देखकर आकर्षित हो जाएं।
So Krishna may inspire that person from the heart that they should also take up Krishna consciousness.
और भगवान उनको हृदय में ये इंस्पिरेशन दे सकते हैं कि वो भी कृष्ण भक्ति को अपना लें।
In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna describes 4 kinds of people who come to Krishna consciousness.
भगवत गीता में 4 प्रकार के लोगों का वर्णन है जो कि कृष्ण भक्ति में आते हैं।
Chaturveda bhajanti mam jnana sukritino arjuna arto jignasur artarti jnani cha bharatarshava. 4 kinds of reasons why people surrender to Krishna. They're not pure devotees, so you could say they're like neophytes.
तो 4 प्रकार के लोगों का वर्णन किया गया है जो भगवान को शरणागत होते हैं, और ये चारों जो है अर्थार्थी, ज्ञानी और जिज्ञासु, ये शुद्ध भक्त नहीं है, और आप समझ सकते हैं कि नए भक्ति के नए भक्त हैं ये।
And so, first of all, people come in distress. That's a very common reason for people coming to Krishna consciousness.
आजकल लोग बहुत स्ट्रेस में हैं, इसकी वजह से ये एक बहुत साधारण कारण है लोगों का भक्ति में आने के लिए।
Yeah, distress. They're really disturbed. They don't know what to do.
वो लोग बहुत परेशान हैं, वो नहीं जानते कि क्या करना चाहिए।
And so, especially when Srila Prabhupada was in the USA in the 1960s and 70s also, there were many people in distress.
खास तौर से तब जब श्रीला प्रभुपाद जी यूएसए में थे 1960s और 70s में, तो बहुत सारे लोग थे जो डिस्ट्रेस थे।
Young men were being recruited to the US Army, and they were being sent to fight in Vietnam, to fight a war which they didn't want to be involved in.
और युवाओं को, अमेरिकी युवाओं को जबरदस्ती फौज में भर्ती किया जाता था, और वियतनाम के विरुद्ध जो युद्ध था उसमें लड़ने के लिए बोला जाता था, जो वो बिल्कुल नहीं चाहते थे।
But they were forced. They would be, the government would track them down and arrest them and take them and they'd send them off to the army.
और लेकिन उनके लिए ये जबरदस्ती था, अगर वो नहीं करते थे तो उनको सरकार जो है वो पकड़ लेता था।
So young people who had no experience of warfare, they were being recruited, young men, and they were being sent to Vietnam to fight in the jungles and the forests of Vietnam against the Viet Cong.
तो उन युवा लोगों को जिनको युद्ध का बिल्कुल अनुभव नहीं था और ना ही उनको वियतनाम से युद्ध में कोई रुचि था, उनको जबरदस्ती वहाँ पर जंगलों में युद्ध करने के लिए भेज दिया जाता था।
So all the young men, they didn't want to go, and they would run away and they'd try to hide, and the government would be tracking them down and arresting them and sending them off to Vietnam.
और वो लोग छुप जाते थे, वो लोग बिल्कुल नहीं लड़ना चाहते थे, लेकिन जो सरकार है वो उनको ढूंढ निकालते थे, उनको अरेस्ट कर लेते थे और इस तरह से जबरदस्ती करते थे उनको वहाँ जाने के लिए।
So many people were becoming devotees. They thought, if I become a devotee, can I avoid going to Vietnam?
तो कई लोग जो ऐसे थे जो सोच रहे थे कि अगर मैं भक्त बनूंगा तो शायद वियतनाम ना जाना पड़ेगा।
And one devotee describes that he was supposed to be recruited to the army, so he went for the interview, and he had a big Jagannath around his neck, a big Jagannath deity. He wore it around his neck, and he went for the interview because before they would put them in the army, they would first make sure they were okay, that they were not crazy.
तो एक एक भक्त अपने बारे में बताते हैं कि जब वो इंटरव्यू के लिए उनको बुलाया गया था फौज में जाने के लिए, तो वो अपने गले में एक भगवान जगन्नाथ के विग्रह को साथ में लटका के गए थे। और वो इंटरव्यू इसलिए लिया जाता था कि उनको देखा जाए कि लोग ठीक ठाक है ना, मतलब।
So this devotee had his Jagannath around his neck, so the interviewers looked and they asked him, "What's this thing around your neck?"
तो इंटरव्यूअर ने पूछा कि आपके गले में ये क्या है?
And I told him, "This is God."
बोला ये भगवान है।
So they said, "Okay, you don't need to go to Vietnam. It's all right."
तो उनको बोला कि आपको वियतनाम जाने की जरूरत नहीं है फिर।
He thought it must be crazy, you know.
ये मूर्ख पागल आदमी है।
So like that, people had different. So distress, and then some people in search of wealth, some people curious, and some people in search of knowledge.
और फिर बाकी ये तो थे डिस्ट्रेस वाले लोग, और उसके बाद कुछ लोग जो धन चाहते हैं या जो जिज्ञासु हैं या फिर जो ज्ञानी हैं, वो भी भगवान का शरण लेते हैं।
So Krishna reciprocates with them by sending the devotee to give them association, to encourage them.
तो भगवान उनसे रेसिप्रोकेट करते हैं, भक्तों को उनके जीवन में भेजते हैं और उनको भक्ति देते हैं।
Right. When we're very fortunate, then we contact we get the Bhakti Lata Beach.
हम लोग जब बहुत सौभाग्यशाली होते हैं तब हमें भक्ति लता बीज प्राप्त होता है।
And with the Bhakti Lata Beach, then you can begin the path of devotion.
और जब हमें भक्ति लता बीज मिलता है तो वहाँ से हमारा भक्ति की शुरुआत होती है।
So Krishna arranges these things. He sends devotees for us to get association, to help us and to encourage us.
तो भगवान ये सब व्यवस्था करते हैं कि भक्तों को हमारे जीवन में भेजते हैं, हमें मदद करते हैं और हमें उत्साहित करते हैं।
Okay, next question. How can we avoid limelight serving tendency? Limelight serving tendency. How to avoid the limelight serving in the limelight, the tendency to want to serve and be in the limelight.
तो भक्त ने प्रश्न पूछा है कि कैसे जब हम सेवा करते हैं तो हम कैसे उसमें बहुत आगे ना दिखें, ऐसा हमारा जो इच्छा है वो ना रहे आगे दिखने का, तो क्या करना चाहिए?
Well, being in the limelight, that's not as bad as being in the spotlight, right?
तो महाराज कह रहे हैं कि सामने रहना, स्पॉटलाइट में रहने से की तरह खराब नहीं है।
I don't know. Serving in the limelight. The main thing is you want to serve. That whatever the consciousness is, whether you're in the spotlight or in the limelight or in the dark, the main thing is to be engaged in service.
तो महाराज बता रहे हैं कि सबसे मुख्य बात जो है कि हमें सेवा में हमें लगना है, चाहे हम लैम्पलाइट में हैं, चाहे स्पॉटलाइट में हैं, चाहे अंधकार में कर रहे हैं, लेकिन सेवा कर रहे हैं तो वो अच्छा है।
It's important that we're engaged, that we have some opportunity to engage ourselves in Krishna's service.
तो ये महत्वपूर्ण है कि हम किसी न किसी तरह से भगवान की सेवा में लगे हैं।
Next question. I don't feel to chant at all. What should I do? Oh, Krishna.
मेरा चैंटिंग करने का बिल्कुल भी मन नहीं करता है, तो क्या करना चाहिए?
What should you do? Huh? Well, you can come and live with Mahavishnu Swami.
आप हिज होलीनेस महाविष्णु स्वामी महाराज के साथ रहना शुरू कर सकते हैं।
Mahavishnu Swami is always chanting the holy name.
महाविष्णु महाराज हर समय भगवान के नामों का चैंटिंग करते रहते हैं।
If you come and live with him, I'm sure you'll like to chant.
और अगर आप उनके साथ रहेंगे तो मुझे पूरा पक्का विश्वास है कि आपको भी चैंटिंग करना अच्छा लगेगा।
So like I say, every association, you associate with somebody who chants and it will rub off on you.
तो जिस प्रकार के व्यक्ति के साथ भी हम संग करते हैं उसका कुछ गुण हमारे अंदर भी आ जाता है।
I said, mostly chanting, I am sleep. So what can I do so that I remove this habit?
तो ज़्यादातर जब के समय मैं ज़्यादातर सोता रहता हूँ, तो कैसे इससे बच सकते हैं?
Wake up!
उठ जाओ.
Right? Come in. One thing you can do, you can stand up and chant. You don't need to sit down, because you sit down, you can go to sleep easy.
तो जब आप बैठते हैं तो नींद आता है, तो अच्छा रहेगा कि आप उठ सकते हैं.
So what you can do is you stand up and you chant loudly.
और आप खड़े हो जाइए और आप जोर से चैंटिंग कर सकते हैं.
Right? The louder chanting, more powerful it becomes.
जितना ज़्यादा जोर से चैंटिंग होगा, उतना ही ज़्यादा शक्तिशाली होता है.
Haridas Thakur was criticized, or Cultivating Sridhar was criticized. Oh, you chant the holy name so loud. Where does it say in the scriptures that you have to chant so loud?
तो शिला हरिदास ठाकुर जी को और शिला कोलावेचा श्रीधर को उनका निंदा किया जाता था, और उनको बोलते थे कि आप इतना जोर से जप करते हो, ये कौन से शास्त्र में लिखा है?
But Cultivating Sridhar knew there was a verse in the Srimad Bhagavatam which talks about the loud chanting of the holy name, how it delivers one.
कोलावेचा श्रीधर को लेकिन पता था श्रीमद् भागवतम से वो श्लोक जहाँ पर बताया है कि जोर से जप करने से हम जब मुक्त हो जाते हैं.
And if you're so sleepy, maybe you need to get more rest. Maybe you need to have rest. Once you have some rest, then you won't fall asleep.
और अगर आपको बहुत नींद आ रहा है, तो शायद आपको कुछ आराम की ज़रूरत है. आप थोड़ा आराम कर लीजिए, फिर जब उठ के जप करेंगे तो शायद उतना नींद नहीं आएगा.
And Jiva Goswami recommends, it's also in Prabhupada's purport in the Srimad Bhagavatam, that when you chant, you should, if you're sitting, then sit straight, sit like a yogi.
शिला जीव गोस्वामी ऐसा बताते हैं, और शिला प्रभुपाद जी भी श्रीमद् भागवतम के एक परपोर्ट में बोलते हैं कि जब आप जप करते हैं तो सीधा बैठना चाहिए, एक योगी की तरह.
Right? The yogis will have the back, they'll sit up straight, and that way you won't fall asleep, because once the back bends, then the head goes down, and then you go down into sleep, into the ignorance.
तो हमें कमर सीधे रख के जप करना चाहिए, क्योंकि एक बार कमर झुकता है, फिर सिर झुकता है और हम सो जाते हैं.
So it's important. Learn to sit properly.
तो ये महत्वपूर्ण है, हमें ठीक ढंग से बैठना सीखना चाहिए.
And sometimes you try to chant, you're chanting in a place, maybe it's too hot or too stuffy, then you can it will make you fall asleep easily.
और अगर हमें स्थान भी देखना चाहिए. अगर हम ऐसे स्थान में जप कर रहे हैं जो वहाँ बहुत गर्म है या बहुत बिखरा हुआ है, तो भी शायद हमें नींद आ जाएगा वहाँ पे.
And you can also go for a walk and chant at the same time.
और आप जप करते समय वॉक कर सकते हैं.
That's recommended. Baladeva Vidyabhusan said you can walk and chant the holy name.
श्रील बलदेव विद्याभूषण बताते हैं कि हम वॉक करते हुए जप कर सकते हैं.
And Srila Prabhupada used to walk every morning.
और श्रील प्रभुपाद जी भी वॉक करते थे हर सुबह को.
Often he was chanting japa, sometimes he would talk also.
और ज़्यादातर उस समय वो जप कर रहे होते थे, और कुछ बार भक्तों से भी बात करते थे.
So when you really want to stay awake, then you do it.
जब आपका सच में इच्छा होगा तो आप उसको कर पाएंगे.
But if you're just happy to sleep, then you won't make any effort to stay awake.
लेकिन अगर आपको सोना ही होगा तो फिर आप कोई प्रयास नहीं करेंगे जगे रहने के लिए.
But if we really want to, sometimes you can even get some ice, put a lump of ice on your head or something.
लेकिन अगर आप सच में चाहते हैं तो कभी आप अपने सिर पे थोड़ा बर्फ भी रख सकते हैं.
Or drink some cold water.
या ठंडा पानी पी सकते हैं.
But we should know that sleeping is more the mode of ignorance.
लेकिन हमें पता होना चाहिए कि जो ये सोना है ये तमोगुण का लक्षण है.
So we want to overcome this habit. Yes, it takes some effort. You have to be determined.
तो हमें इसके ऊपर विजय प्राप्त करना है तो इसमें कुछ टाइम लगेगा और हमें उत्साह से लगे रहना चाहिए.
But we're given good instruction. We're told sit straight or stand up, chant loudly.
लेकिन कई सारी ऐसा प्रैक्टिकल इंस्ट्रक्शंस बताया गया है जो हम अभी कर सकते हैं.
Okay. All right, next question. How to know when to apply which knowledge from the scriptures?
ये कैसे पता चलेगा कि शास्त्रों में से कौन सा ज्ञान जो है कहाँ पर लगाना चाहिए, कब लगाना चाहिए?
Well, you have to tell me which knowledge you're talking about,
आपको बताना पड़ेगा कि कौन से ज्ञान की आप बात कर रहे हैं यहाँ पे.
How to apply which knowledge from the scriptures? Just like controlling the mind. So, in the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna describes about controlling the mind in the 6th chapter of Bhagavad Gita.
जैसे कि मन को नियंत्रित करना, तो भगवान कृष्ण भगवत गीता के 6ठे अध्याय में इसके बारे में चर्चा करते हैं.
It says, for one who has conquered the mind is the best of friends.
और बताते हैं कि जिसने मन पे विजय प्राप्त किया है, मन उसका सबसे अच्छा मित्र है.
And for one who has failed to do so, his very mind is the greatest enemy.
और जिसने जो उसको नहीं कर पाया, उसका मन उसका सबसे बड़ा शत्रु है.
And Lord Krishna also describes in the 2nd chapter, while contemplating the objects of the senses, in other words, while thinking about sense gratification in the mind, we become attached to it.
और भगवत गीता के दूसरे अध्याय में भी भगवान बताते हैं कि इंद्रिय भोग के विषयों पर चिंतन करना से भी हम उससे ज़्यादा आकर्षित हो जाते हैं.
And from attachment, lust develops.
और उस आकर्षण से काम उत्पन्न होता है.
And then from lust comes anger, and then illusion, bewilderment of memory, intelligence is lost, and a person falls down again into the material pool.
और इस तरह से काम, उसके बाद क्रोध, और इस तरह से व्यक्ति जो है भौतिक स्थिति में पहुंच जाता है.
So this in relation to dealing with the mind, we have to understand when are we having problems with the mind.
तो इस तरह से मन के संबंध में हमें इस तरह से हम समझ सकते हैं कि कब हमारा मन हमें दिक्कत दे रहा है.
In other places in the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna said a yogi should not eat too much or eat too little.
और दूसरी जगह पे भगवत गीता में बताया कि एक योगी को बहुत ज़्यादा या बहुत कम नहीं खाना चाहिए.
Don't sleep too much, don't sleep too little.
बहुत ज़्यादा नहीं सोना चाहिए, बहुत ज़्यादा नहीं खाना चाहिए.
So there's different instructions given. Then we have to consider which particular instructions are applicable in our situation.
तो ऐसे कई सारा निर्देश दिया गया है, तो हमें समझना होगा कि हमारी स्थिति में कौन सा चीज जो है उस समय हमारे लिए जरूरी है.
Are we struggling with our tongue? Do we overeat or sometimes we even undereat?
और हम कई बार अपनी जीवा से परेशान हैं, कई बार हम बहुत ज़्यादा खाते हैं और कई बार बिल्कुल नहीं खाते, कम खाते हैं.
Or maybe with our sleeping, are we sleeping too much or too little?
या फिर सोने को लेकर के क्या हम बहुत ज़्यादा सो रहे हैं या बहुत ही कम सोते हैं.
So there's a lot of practical instructions in the Bhagavad Gita.
तो भगवत गीता में बहुत सारा प्रैक्टिकल इंस्ट्रक्शंस दिया गया है.
We have to consider our own situation. Which instructions are going to be applicable for you in your situation?
तो हमें समझना होगा कि हमारी स्थिति में उसमें से कौन से निर्देश एप्लीकेबल हैं.
It's a very complex subject. When to apply what knowledge from the scriptures? Tell me what knowledge you want to use, and we'll think about how you can apply it.
तो ये एक बहुत कॉम्प्लेक्स सब्जेक्ट है कि कौन सा नॉलेज कहाँ लगाना है. तो आप अगर बताएंगे कि किस नॉलेज की बात कर रहे हैं तो शायद उस पर हम बता पाएंगे.
Okay, next question. How can we ever live in the brahmachari ashram for a whole life?
पूरे जीवन भर ब्रह्मचारी आश्रम में बने रहने के लिए क्या करना होगा?
You're very lucky to live in the brahmachari ashram your whole life.
अगर आप पूरे जीवन भर ब्रह्मचारी आश्रम में रहते हैं तो बहुत सौभाग्यशाली हैं।
We see in the other temples, older brahmacharis, they're living there their whole life, doing service in the temple.
क्या आप देखते हैं कि मंदिर में बहुत पुराने ब्रह्मचारी सेवा करते हैं लगातार अंत तक?
There's always some service to be done. You can always find something to do in the ashram, in a temple.
तो मंदिर में हर स्थिति में हर समय कुछ ना कुछ ऐसी सेवा होती है जो हम कर सकते हैं।
There was one devotee used to live in Vrindavan. His name was Vibhu Chaitanya. He was a very saintly person. When we opened the temple in Vrindavan, he became the cook.
तो वृंदावन में हिज ग्रेस विभू चैतन्य प्रभु जी थे, जो कि बहुत ही एक साधु व्यक्ति थे, और वो जब हमने वृंदावन मंदिर को खोला तो उस समय वहाँ पर वो एक रसोई में सेवा करते थे।
This is a very noisy place, huh? So Vibhu Chaitanya was told by Prabhupada he could cook every offering, every day, and he could chant his rounds as he cooked.
तो विभू चैतन्य प्रभु जी को श्रील प्रभुपाद जी ने बोला था कि वो सारे जो भगवान के लिए भोग बनता है बना सकते हैं, और भोग बनाते हुए अपना जप कर सकते हैं।
And he did it for many years. And then finally, in his very old age, it was just not possible for him to do it anymore.
और उन्होंने ये बहुत लंबे समय तक ऐसे ही सेवा किया, लेकिन बाद में जब वो बहुत ज़्यादा वृद्ध हुए तब उनके लिए ये संभव नहीं था करना।
So he did another service. He would give charanamrita to people every day. He would sit and he would put one spoon, he'd put some drops of charanamrita in people's hands.
और जब वो रसोई में अपनी सेवा नहीं कर पा रहे थे वृद्ध अवस्था में, तो फिर उन्होंने चरणामृत देने की सेवा की, और हर एक व्यक्ति के हाथ में वो थोड़ा सा चरणामृत देते थे।
And he did this up until he left the body.
और उन्होंने ये सेवा करते रहे जब तक उन्होंने शरीर नहीं त्याग दिया।
And we have his samadhi there in Vrindavan.
और वहाँ पर वृंदावन में उनकी समाधि है।
So he never took sannyas, but he was a very saintly devotee.
उन्होंने कभी संन्यास नहीं लिया, लेकिन वो बहुत ही साधु पुरुष थे।
And he lived in the ashram his whole life.
और वो अपने पूरे जीवन भर आश्रम में रहे।
So there are many examples of devotees who dedicate their whole life for the service of Krishna. It's very glorious.
तो ऐसे कई सारे उदाहरण हैं जिसमें भक्त अपना पूरा जीवन कृष्ण की सेवा में लगाते हैं, और बहुत ग्लोरियस है।
But it's not compulsory. But brahmachari life is a good training for people. And if you're not comfortable living in the brahmachari ashram, then you can always move on into the grihastha ashram.
तो लेकिन ये कंपल्सरी नहीं है, ऐसा नहीं है कि ब्रह्मचारी आश्रम में हमेशा बने रहना कंपल्सरी है। अगर आपको ब्रह्मचारी आश्रम में रहने के बाद वो उतना उपयुक्त नहीं लग रहा है, तो आप हमेशा गृहस्थ आश्रम में जा सकते हैं।
And grihastha ashram is not eternal. After being in grihastha ashram for some time, then you can move on into the vanaprastha ashram.
और गृहस्थ आश्रम भी सनातन नहीं है। गृहस्थ आश्रम में जाने के बाद फिर आप वानप्रस्थ आश्रम में जा सकते हैं कुछ समय बाद।
So the varnashram system is there. Not that everybody is expected to live in the brahmachari ashram, but brahmachari life is a good training if somebody is trained nicely in the brahmachari ashram, then they can also be successful in their grihastha life.
तो ऐसा नहीं है कि हर एक व्यक्ति पूरा जीवन भर ब्रह्मचारी आश्रम में बना रह पाएगा, लेकिन ब्रह्मचारी आश्रम प्रशिक्षण की दृष्टि से बहुत अच्छा है। अगर कोई व्यक्ति ब्रह्मचारी आश्रम में अच्छे से करता है सेवा, तो वो फिर अपना गृहस्थ आश्रम में भी अच्छे से कर पाता है।
Then the next question says, how I can take sannyas in this life only and return back to Godhead?
तो भक्त का प्रश्न है कि इस जीवन में ही मैं कैसे संन्यास ले सकता हूँ और भगवत धाम वापस जा सकता हूँ।
Well, sannyas is not compulsory either. You know, it's not for everyone.
तो संन्यास लेना भी कोई कंपलसरी नहीं है, ये हर एक के लिए नहीं है।
Sannyasis are meant to do propaganda work.
सन्यासी को प्रचार कार्य के लिए उनका सेवा होता है।
They're meant to go for preaching.
उनको प्रचार के लिए जाना होता है।
Meant to go out and preach the message of Krishna consciousness to different corners of the world, and to develop centers and places where there is no Krishna consciousness.
तो उनको दुनिया के हर एक कोने में जाकर प्रचार करना होता है, वहाँ पर केंद्र खोलने होते हैं, और खास तौर से जहाँ पर अभी कृष्ण भक्ति का प्रचार नहीं हुआ है।
Just like Srila Prabhupada went to America, he didn't know anybody, he didn't have any money, but he went to America to spread Krishna consciousness.
जैसे कि श्रील प्रभुपाद जी अमेरिका गए कृष्ण भावनामृत का प्रचार करने के लिए, वो किसी को जानते नहीं थे और उनके पास कोई धन नहीं था।
So nowadays also devotees who want to take sannyas, before they take sannyas, the sannyasi committee, they will send them to different parts of the world to help to develop Krishna consciousness.
और आज के समय में भी जो भक्त संन्यास लेना चाहते हैं, तो जो संन्यास की कमेटी है वो उन भक्तों को संन्यास लेने से पहले अलग अलग स्थानों पर भेजते हैं प्रचार की सेवा में सहयोग करने के लिए।
Some devotees go to Africa, different countries in Africa, we need to develop Krishna consciousness. So some devotees are sent over to Africa to do some preaching there.
तो कुछ भक्तों को अफ्रीका भेजा जाता है, कई ऐसी जगह हैं जहाँ पर हमें अभी प्रचार करना है, कुछ भक्तों को वहाँ भेजा जाता है।
Rukmini Krishna Prabhu from Delhi was telling me the sannyasi committee, they sent him to South America, and he was traveling in countries in South America where there's, very small communities of devotees.
तो हिज ग्रेस रुक्मिणी कृष्ण प्रभु जी मुझे बता रहे थे कि संन्यास कमेटी ने उन्हें साउथ अमेरिका भेजा है प्रचार वहाँ पर बढ़ाने के लिए। अभी वहाँ पर बहुत थोड़ी मात्रा में भक्त हैं।
So sannyas is meant for that kind of work.
तो संन्यास उस तरह के कार्य के लिए है।
So it's not everybody who likes to, or who's willing to do that kind of work.
तो हर कोई व्यक्ति ऐसा नहीं होता है जो वो करना चाहता है।
Sannyas means a walking dead man.
सन्यासी का मतलब है चलता हुआ मृत व्यक्ति।
Means someone who has no material responsibilities.
मतलब जिसका कोई भौतिक जिम्मेवारी नहीं हो।
So it means to dedicate body, mind and words in the service of Lord Krishna.
तो इसका मतलब है शरीर, मन और शब्दों से हमेशा भगवान की सेवा ही करना।
You can read about the Brahmana from Avanti Desh in Srimad Bhagavatam.
आप श्रीमद् भागवतम में अवंती देश के ब्राह्मण के बारे में पढ़ सकते हो।
How this Brahmana, at one point he was a rich man, but then he lost everything and his family gave him up and he was left all alone, so he renounced. He decided he would renounce the world.
तो हम उसमें पढ़ते हैं कि कैसे वो अवंती ब्राह्मण एक समय में बहुत धनी व्यक्ति थे और बाद में उनका सारा धन खत्म हो गया और उनके परिवार ने उनको छोड़ दिया और उस समय वो
So the Srimad Bhagavatam describes how he was treated. When he would go and beg, people would spit on him, people would be very nasty to him. They gave him really a hard time.
तो श्रीमद् भागवतम में बताया है कि जब वो लोगों से भिक्षा मांगने जाते थे तो लोग उनका बहुत उपहास करते थे, उनके ऊपर थूक फेंकते थे, बहुत मुश्किल था उनके लिए.
Just like Srila Prabhupada, when he first took sannyas, he was walking in the streets of Vrindavan and he got gored by a bull.
जैसे कि श्रील प्रभुपाद जी जब उन्होंने संन्यास लिया और वृंदावन की एक गली में चल रहे थे तो एक बैल ने उनको मारा.
And he was thinking, he renounced everything and then he got gored by a bull. He was in very difficult condition.
और श्रील प्रभुपाद जी उस समय सोच रहे थे कि उन्होंने सब कुछ त्याग दिया और अब उनको ये इस तरह से एक बैल ने मारा है, अब ये बहुत मुश्किल स्थिति में पड़ गया.
And then of course eventually he goes to America, and when he gets to America he got his tape recorder stolen, his different possessions stolen.
और फिर श्रील प्रभुपाद जी अमेरिका गए और जब अमेरिका गए तो वहाँ उनका टेप रिकॉर्डर और उनका अन्य चीज़ें वो सब चोरी हो गया.
They had to live in the homes of meat eaters.
उनको मांस खाने वाले लोगों के घर पे रहना पड़ा.
And one time he was even living with a drug addict.
और एक बार तो वो ड्रग एडिक्ट के साथ में रहने लगे.
So Prabhupada tolerated so many difficulties.
तो श्रील प्रभुपाद जी ने बहुत सारी मुश्किलों को सहन किया.
So that is sannyas life, to accept all of these difficulties for the service of Krishna.
तो ये है सन्यास का जीवन कि भगवान की सेवा के लिए इन सारी मुश्किलों को आमंत्रित करना.
So whether you accept sannyas physically, we will all have to take sannyas at some point in our life. If not physically, at least mentally.
तो हम सबको जीवन में एक ना एक समय में सन्यास लेना होगा. हो सकता है शरीर से नहीं तो लेकिन मन से. तो
We have to give up our attachment to this material world. We have to give up the material body.
हमें इस भौतिक जगत से अपने सारे आकर्षण को खत्म करना पड़ेगा और ये शरीर को भी त्यागना पड़ेगा.
Srila Prabhupada gave everything away before he left the world.
श्रील प्रभुपाद जी ने सब कुछ त्याग दिया इस अपने मृत्यु से पहले.
Right? We say in Hindi, I have come with nothing, kali hath ayate, kali hath chalo. So you're going to leave the world. Better to give it all away rather than have people take it from you once you die.
तो हमें सब कुछ त्यागना ही होगा. तो अच्छा है कि जीवित रहते सब कुछ दे दें, नहीं तो अन्यथा लोग उसको ले लेंगे बाद में भी.
Okay, so we stop here tonight, 6 o'clock. Time for arati. Srila Prabhupada ki.
Jai. So we want to thank Maharaj for kindly answering answers in a beautiful way by loudly chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. His Holiness Srila Bhakti Vigna Vinasha Narasimha Swami Maharaj ki jai.
Srila Prabhupada ki. Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki.
Kiba dakshine nitai cha
ताए शान पामे गदाधर
Kiba dakshine nitai cha pame gadadhara
निकटे अद्वैत श्रीनिवास छत्रधर
निकटे अद्वैता श्रीने वास छत्रधर
निकटे अद्वैत श्रीनिवास छत्रधर
निकटे अद्वैता श्रीने वास छत्रधर
शिवा बशी আছে গৌরাচান রত্ন সিংহাসনে
শিবা বসে আছে গৌরাচান কামে সুন্দরনে
কিবা বসি আছে গৌরাচান রত্ন সিংহাসনে
শিবা বসে আছে গৌরাচান রত্ন সিংহাসনে
आरती करे ना ब्रह्मा आदिदेव गाने
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 गौरांगेर आरतीक शोभा जग जन मन लोभा
गौरांगेर आरतीक शोभा जग जन मान लोभा
गौरांगेर आरतीक शोभा जग जन मन लोभा
गौरांगेर आरतीक शोभा जग जन मान लोभा
जय गौर निताय गौर निताय गौर निताय जय गौर निताय
जय गौर निताय गौर निताय गौर निताय जय गौर
निताय गौर निताय गौर निताय जय गौर निताय
जय गौर निताय गौर निताय गौर निताय जय गौर निताय
नर हरि आदि कोरी चामर डुलाय
शिव नर हरि आदि करी कामर डुलाय
नर कोरी चामर डुलाय
शिव नर हरि अधिकारी चामर डुलाय
संजय मुकुंद पशु घोष आदि गाय
संजय मुकुंद वासु घोष आदि गाय
संजय वासु घोष आदि गाय
संजय मुकुंद वासु घोष आदि गाय
शिव शंखा बाजे घंटा बाजे बाजे करताल
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 माधुरा मृदंगा बाजे परमारसाला
मधुरा मृदंग बाजे परमरसाल
माधुरा मृदंगा बाजे परमारसाला
मधुरा मृदंग बाजे परमरसाल
शंखा बाजे घंटा बाजे माधुर 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 बाजे
शंख बाजे घंटा बाजे माधुर 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 बाजे
शंखा बाजे घंटा बाजे माधुर 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 बाजे
शंख बाजे घंटा बाजे माधुर 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 बाजे
शंखा बाजे घंटा बाजे माधुर 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 बाजे
शंख बाजे घंटा बाजे माधुर 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 बाजे
गौरनिताय जय गौरनिताय
जय गौरनिताय 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 जय गौरनिताय
जय गौरनिताय 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 जय गौरनिताय
जय गौरनिताय 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 जय गौरनिताय
बहु कोटि चंद्र जीने वादन उज्ज्वला
बहु कोटि चंद्र जीने वादन उज्ज्वला
शिव बहु कोटि चंद्र जीने वदन उज्ज्वल
शिव बहु कोटि चंद्र जीने वदन उज्ज्वल
गल देश वन माला औरे झलमाला
काला देश बना माला करे झलमाल
गल देश वन माला कोरे झलमाला
काला देश बना माला करे झलमाल
शिवा शिवा शुक नारद प्रेमे गदागद
शिव शिव शुक नारद प्रेमे गद गद
शिव शिवा शुक नारद प्रेमे गदागद
शिव शिव शुक नारद प्रेमे गद गद
बकती विनोदा देखे गौरार संवाद
बकती विनोद देखे गौरार संपद
ठाकुर भक्ति विनोदा देखे गौरार संपादा
भक्ति विनोद देखे गौरार संपद
जय गौरनिताय गौरनिताय जय गौरनिताय
जय गौरनिताय 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 जय गौरनिताय
जय गौरनिताय 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 जय गौरनिताय
जय गौरनिताय 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 जय गौरनिताय
जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरा भक्त वृंद
जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद
जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरा भक्त वृंद
जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे 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 राम राम हरे
हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे 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 राम राम हरे
हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे 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 राम
निताई गौरांगो गौर हरि
निताई गौरांगो गौर हरि
जय सचिनंदन जय सचिनंदन गौर हरि जय सचिनंदन गौर हरि नदिया बिहारी गौर हरि नमस्ते नरसिंहाय नमस्ते नरसिंहाय नमस्ते नरसिंहाय प्रहलाद लाद दायिने प्रहलाद लाद दायिने प्रहलाद लाद दायिने हिरण्यकाशिपूर्वक्षः 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 शिलाटंका न खालाए
ओ शिलाटंका न खालाए
शिलाटंका न खालाए
शिलाटंका न खालाए
तो नरसिंहा परितो नरसिंहा
तो नरसिंह परतो नरसिंह
तो नरसिंहा परितो नरसिंहा
तो नरसिंह परतो नरसिंह
यतो यामि ततो नरसिंहा
यतो यतो यामि ततो नरसिंह
यातो यातो यामि ततो नरसिंहा
यतो यतो यामि ततो नरसिंह
बाहे नरसिंहा हृदय नरसिंहा
बाहिर नरसिंह हृदय नरसिंह
बाहिर नरसिंहा हृदय नरसिंहा
बाहिर नरसिंह हृदय
नरसिंहा मदिं शरणं प्रपदे
नरसिंह मदिं शरणं प्रपदे
नरसिंहा मदिं शरणं प्रपदे
नरसिंह मदिं शरणं प्रपदे
नव कर कमला वरे नाखाम अद्भुत श्रृंगार दलिता हिरण्यकशिप तानुभृंगा केशवधृता नरहरि रूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे
नव कर कमल भरे नखा अद्भुत श्रृंगार दलिता हिरण्यकशिपो
तनुभृंगा
केशवधृता नरहरि रूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे
तब कर कमल भरे नखाम अद्भुत श्रृंगार दलिता हिरण्यकशिप तानुभृंगा केशवधृता नरहरि रूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे
तव कर कमल भरे नखा अद्भुत श्रृंगार दलिता हिरण्यकशिपो तनुभृंगा केशवधृता नरहरि रूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे
हरे
हरे राम 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 हरे हरे
ओ हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Jaya Narsingadev 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 Jaya Narsingadev
Jaya Narsingadev Narsingadev Jaya Narsingadev
Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Prahlad Maharaj
Jaya Prahlad Maharaj
because of the presence of Vishwambara, the Lord of Vaikuntha, accompanied by his beloved Nityananda. The Lord engaged in pastimes of relishing his own names in the association of devotees. The Lord performed Kirtan every night. No one except the devotees could participate. The glories of Vishwambara's prowess were so great that no one in the three worlds knew their limit. Hidden in the distance, 5 or 10 people gathered together and spoke bad words that would take them to hell. Someone said, "What kind of Vaishnava can they be in Kali Yuga?" Those Vaishnavas are simply engaged in filling their stomachs. Someone else said, "If I can tie their hands and legs and throw them in the water, my unhappiness will be mitigated." Someone said, "Oh brother, know for certain that Nimai Pandit will ruin the entire village. They will threaten the devotees so that they could see the Kirtan. But because they were unfortunate, what could their cunning accomplish?" As the son of Sati performed Sankirtan, the consciousness of everyone in the world was purified. Ordinary people lamented because they could not see the Kirtan. They sighed deeply and considered themselves unfortunate. Some people requested the devotees to let them inside so that they could secretly watch the Sankirtan. All the Lord's servants understood that the Lord knew everything. So, in fear of his reaction, they did not take anyone inside. There was one particular brahmachari who lived in Navadwip. He was austere, saintly, and faultless. He drank only milk and did not eat rice. This Brahmana wanted to see the Lord's Kirtan. Since the Lord performed Kirtan behind closed doors, no one other than the devotees was allowed to enter. This particular Brahmana daily requested Srivas to allow him to see the Lord's dancing. "If you bestow mercy on me and take me one day inside your house, I will be able to see Nimai Pandits dancing. Then my eyes will be successful, and I will always remain grateful to you." In this way, the Brahmana daily appealed to Srivas, who one day replied to him, "I know you have always been a good person. Throughout your life, you have observed strict celibacy and eaten only fruits. Your body is free from sin, so you are certainly qualified to see the Kirtan. But I tell you, the Lord has instructed us not to bring anyone inside. So, you will have to stay behind. You have to stay hidden. After speaking in this way, he took the Brahmana inside and hid him in one corner. Thereafter, the Lord of the 14 worlds began to dance in the midst of his most fortunate associate. They all jubilantly sang together, Krishna, Ram, Mukunda, Murari, Vanamali. Nityananda and Gadadhara held each other as they twirled around. The lion-like Advaita ran here and there in ecstasy. As the Lord of Vaikuntha personally danced, everyone lost external consciousness in transcendental happiness. Nothing could be heard other than Hare Bol! Hare Bol! Oh brothers, chant the holy names. Who can describe Vishwambara's transcendental transformations of ecstatic love? Like shedding of tears, shivering, hair standing on end, and loud roaring. Yet, the Vishwambara, the casual of omniscient persons, knew that a Brahmana was hiding there. Lord Vishwambara repeatedly stopped dancing and said, "Why am I not feeling any ecstasy today? I cannot understand. It seems someone is inside the house. Tell me the truth." In fear, Srinivas replied, "Oh Lord, no atheists have come inside. There is only one brahmachari, a pious Brahmana, who leads a sinless life and only drinks milk. He had a strong desire to see you dancing. We have rightly surmised, O Lord. He is hiding inside the house." On hearing this, Vishwambara angrily said, "Quickly take him out of the house. What qualification does he have to see my dancing? Can one attain devotion to me by drinking milk?" The Lord raised his two hands and extended his index fingers while saying, "No one can attain me simply by drinking milk. Know for certain that if even a chandala surrenders to me, he is mine, and I am his. If even a sannyasi does not surrender to me, he is not mine. This is the truth I am telling you. Tell me, what kind of austerity did Gajendra, the monkeys, the cowhead men perform to attain me? Even the demons perform austerities, but what is the result? Unless they take shelter of me, they cannot be delivered." The Lord continued, "One cannot attain me by just drinking milk. You will see right here how I smash him to pieces." As the brahmacharis left in great fear, that sober Brahmana thought to himself, "I am indeed fortunate to have seen something. I have also received appropriate punishment for my offense. I saw that wonderful dancing and wonderful Kirtan, and I was punished according to my offense." Only a servant of the Lord develops such a mentality and is able to tolerate the Lord's chastisement. As that exalted Brahmana departed while thinking in this way, Lord Vishwambara, the super soul, understood his heart. The Lord, who is an ocean of mercy, called the Brahmana back and placed his lotus feet on his head. The Lord then told him that he shouldn't be proud of his austerity, and he should know for certain that devotional service to the Supreme Lord is supreme. That exalted Brahmana cried in ecstasy as he continually remembered the merciful qualities of the Lord. All the devotees then jubilantly chanted the name of Hare and immediately offered obeisances to the brahmachari. Anyone who faithfully hears this confidential person will certainly attain Lord Gaura Chandra. After bestowing mercy on the brahmachari, the Lord profusely danced in ecstasy. I offer my obeisances at the feet of that Brahmana, whose intelligence was purified by Lord Chaitanya's chastisement. In this way, the Lord performed Kirtan every night, but no outsiders had the right to watch. As a result, all the people of Nadia were distressed at heart. They put all the blame on the atheists. Because of the foolish, sinful blasphemers, we are unable to see such a festival. They are all sinful atheists whose only business is to blaspheme. They are deprived of seeing such Kirtans, so they simply suffer. Because of this sinful atheists, Nimai Pandey refuses to allow even good people inside. He is a devotee of Krishna, so he knows everything. Moreover, his heart is most pure. If we are devoted to him, then somehow we will certainly see his dancing one day. One of the inhabitants said, "Oh Brahmanas, just wait. We will see the dancing to our full satisfaction right here." Nimai Pandit has appeared within Nadia to deliver the entire world. I tell you, he will perform Sankirtan from door to door at every house and in every town. The inhabitants of Navadwip were most fortunate, for they accompanied the Lord in each of his incarnations, but the scholars suffered as a result of their blasphemy. Early every morning, the inhabitant would go to see the Lord. Everyone brought some gifts, such as some new items, bananas, ghee, yogurt, or attractive flower garlands. Everyone went to see the Lord with such gifts. On seeing the Lord, they all offered obeisances to him. The Lord said to them, "May you all attend devotional service to Krishna. Do not speak about anything other than the names and qualities of Krishna." The Lord personally instructed everyone, "Hear the Hare Krishna mantra and be happy. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare." The Lord continued, "This is the Maha Mantra. All of you go and chant this mantra according to a prescribed number. By doing so, everyone will attain all perfection. Always chant. There is no other prescription. 5 to 10 people can sit together in a house and perform kirtan while clapping their hands. You should chant, Hare Namo Krishna Yadavaya Namaha. Gopal Govinda Ram Sri Madhusudana. These are my instructions on how to perform Sankirtan. Go home and chant together with your wife, father, and sons. Having received mantra from the mouth of the Lord, they all became jubilant. After offering obeisances, they returned to their respective homes. They engaged their bodies and minds by constantly chanting the names of Krishna and meditating on the Lord's lotus feet. In the evenings, they gathered in their houses and performed Kirtan while clapping their hands. In this way, the son of Sachi inaugurated the congregational chanting of the holy names from village to village. The Lord stood up, embraced each one of them, and then offered his garlands to them. With straw between their teeth, the Lord appealed to them, "O brothers, worship Krishna day and night." They all cried on seeing the Lord's anxiety. They then engaged in the process of Sankirtan with their bodies, with their minds, and with their speech. In great jubilation, all the inhabitants of Navadwip clapped their hands and chanted the names of Ram and Narayana. They all had mridangas, karatals, and conch shells in their homes that they used during the Durga Puja festival. Everyone was happy now to use those musical instruments at the time of Kirtan. In this way, the entire town became filled with the chanting of the Lord's transcendental names. Hare, Ram, Ram, Hare, Ram, Ram. Kolabhe Sridhara was walking down that same path, loudly chanting the name of Hare. When that servant of Lord Chaitanya heard the Kirtan, he became overwhelmed and began to dance in ecstasy. When the town's inhabitants saw how joyful he was, they gathered around him and performed Kirtan. As Sridhara began to roll on the ground in ecstatic love, the materialists laughed at him from a distance. One of those sinners said, "Oh brother, just look at him. Even that Kolavecha fellow has become a Vaishnava. He has no clothes to wear and no rice to eat. Yet he advertises, 'I am in ecstasy.'" The local inhabitants said, "They are unable to maintain themselves by begging, so they are celebrating the Durga Puja festival at the wrong time." In this way, the atheists always criticized, while the inhabitants of Navadwip daily sang the glories of Krishna. One day, by providence, the Kazi walked down that road and heard the sound of mridangas, karatals, and conch shells. When the Kazi heard the loud vibration of the Lord's holy names in the four directions, he immediately remembered his own scriptures. The Kazi said, "Catch them, catch them! I will take action today. Let us see what your teacher Nimai does." The townspeople quickly ran away. Out of fear, they did not even tie their hair. the Kazi beat whoever he caught. He brought the mridangas and created havoc at that place. The Kazi said, the entire Nadia has been overrun by the Hindus. When I catch them, I will punish them. It is right now, it is night now, so I will excuse you today. But if I catch you again, then I will take away your caste. In this way, the Kazi and his sinful followers daily wandered about the town looking for Kirtan. In distress, the townspeople remained hidden while the Kazi went about beating and chastising Hindus. Someone said, one should chant the name of Hare in one's mind, which Purana recommend boisterous chanting. This is the punishment for one who transgresses the Vedic injunctions. These fellows are not even concerned about their caste. Now, Nimai Pandit's pride will be completely smashed by the Kazi. The happiness of Nityananda, who freely wanders around town, will soon come to an end. They call us atheists for speaking the truth. All glories to Nadia, which is filled with so much hypocrisy. Out of fear, the devotees do not reply. They went to the Lord and explained everything to him. Out of fear of the Kazi, we do not perform Kirtan anymore. The Kazi wanders about with thousands of followers. We will leave Navadwip and go somewhere else. We submit these two concerns at the lotus feet. When Bishwambara heard about the impediment to the Kirtan, he became like Rudra in his anger. The son of Sachi roared loudly, and the inhabitants covered their ears and chanted the name of Hare. The Lord said, "O Nityananda, get ready and go quickly to all the Vaishnavas. Today, I will perform Kirtan throughout Navadvip. Let me see what anyone can do. Today, I will burn the Kazi's house. Let me see what even his king can do. Today, I will shower an incessant rain of pure devotional service. Today, the atheists will face their ultimate fate. Oh brothers, oh resident of Navadvip, go everywhere and announce my order. Everyone who desires to see Krishna's mystic potency should come with a big torch. Today, I will break the Kazi's house and perform Kirtan at his doorstep. Let me see what he can do. Innumerable universes are servant of my servant. What fear can manifest when I am personally present? No one should have the slightest fear at heart. Come in the afternoon, right after you eat lunch. As all the residents immediately left to get ready, the hairs of their bodies stood on end. What need did they have of eating? The news spread from house to house. Nimai Pandit will dance today. throughout the street of Navadwip. Millions of Nadia residents had lamented that they had been unable to see the Lord's dancing. Now that he would dance throughout the street of Navadwip, the people of each and every house joyfully prepared their torches. Even if the father prepared a torch, the son also prepared one. In their ecstasy, no one could restrict anyone. Everyone competed to make the biggest torch. They then filled that pot with oil to take with them. Countless millions of people lived in Nadia. Who can count the number of torches they made? Meanwhile, those who had the resources arranged for thousands of torches to take along. The entire Navadwip became filled with torches. The happiness of the women, children, and elderly persons increased unlimitedly. Can anyone other than Krishna have such potency? Still, the sinful people were not able to understand. Simply by the Lord's order, people from all over Navadwip came before him with torches in hand. When the Vaishyavas heard about this, they immediately came. Then the son of Sati instructed everyone. Advaita Acharya will dance in front, and one group will sing near him. Haridas will dance in the middle, and one group will sing next to him. Behind him, Srivas Pandit will dance. One group will sing at his side. As soon as the Lord looked at Nityananda, Nityananda said, I will never leave your side. O Lord, my only duty will be to follow you for support. I will not relinquish you, your lotus feet from my heart for even a moment. What ability do I have to dance independently? Wherever you are, I am there. This is my devotional service. On seeing the symptoms of ecstatic love in the body of Nityananda, the Lord embraced him and kept him at his side. In this way, according to their sweet will, some devotees dance independently and some dance near the Lord. Oh brothers, hear attentively about the Kirtan procession. By hearing these topics, one is released from the bondage of fruitive activities. The devotee is headed by Gadadhara, Vakreshwara, Murari, Srivas, Gopinath, Jagdish, Gangadas, Ramai, Govindananda, Sri Chandrasekhara, Vasudev, Sri Garba, Mukunda, Sridhara, Govinda, Jagadananda, Nandana Acharya, and Suklambara were all experts in the performance of Kirtan. Lord Chaitanya has innumerable servants. How many names can I know? Vedavyas will reveal their names in the Puranas. What human being has the ability to describe how the Lord danced with his devotees and with his associates, weapons, and confidential companions? The wonderful persons manifested by the son of Sachi have never been manifested by any other incarnation. The happiness of Vishwambara slowly and steadily increased as the afternoon arrived. Who can describe the ecstasy of the devotees? They all floated in an ocean of happiness. The husband of the goddess of fortune was to dance throughout the street of Navadwip. On seeing this, the miseries of living entities would be vanquished. All moving and non-moving living entities, including women, children, and elderly people, will become free from all bondage simply by seeing his dancing. As dusk approached, everyone lost external consciousness in ecstasy. Millions of people gathered at the Lord's doorstep. Their loud vibration of Hare's names penetrated the universe. The loud roaring of Sachi's son filled the ears of everyone there. They became overwhelmed by his loud roars. They chanted the name of Hare and lit their torches. Millions of torches were lit in the 4 directions, and millions of people chanted the name of Hare in the 4 directions. Who has the ability to describe that wonderful scene and the ecstasy that manifested there? No one could tell whether the full moon had appeared, whether the sun had appeared, or whether the stars had appeared. The entire sky was filled with illumination. Perhaps Krishna had appeared there in the form of light. As Sri Gaura Sundara loudly chanted the name of Hare, all the Vaishnavas got ready. The Lord began Kirtan in the midst of the devotees, who were all decorated with garlands, colored powder, and sandalwood paste. Their hands were adorned with karatals and bumpers. Each one of them had the power to defeat millions of lions. Surrounded by his devotees, who were not different from him, the son of Sati began to move forward. When the Lord moved forward while dancing in ecstasy, everyone chanted the name of Hare and floated in waves of ecstasy. Everyone became freed from material suffering on seeing the Lord's beautiful face, and they all joyfully chanted the name of Hare. The Lord's beauty defeated that of millions of cupids. There is nothing with which it may be compared. Still, by his mercy, I am trying to explain. Otherwise, who is able to describe his beautiful form? His effulgent golden form is the essence of the Vedas. He was decorated with sandalwood paste and appeared like the moon. His coiling hair was decorated with a garland of jasmine, and his sweet smile defeated all artistic expression. His forehead was decorated with sandalwood paste and dots of colored powder. He raised his arms, and the name of Hare emanated from his moon-like face. His flower garland that hung down to his knees swung to and fro. His entire body became wet with the tears flowing from his lotus eyes. His 2 strong arms were like golden pillars, being decorated with hairs standing on end. His body looked like a golden kadamba flower. His lips were enchanting, and his teeth were beautiful. His eyebrows stretched to the bottoms of his ears. His shoulders defeated those of the king of elephants. His broad chest was decorated with a thin white Brahmana thread. Lakshmi and Tulasi resided at his lotus feet. He was dressed in supremely pure and fine clothes. His nose was raised. His lion-like neck was enchanting. His body was taller and more golden than that of anyone else. People in all directions said, "See how the Lord's hair is decorated with various flowers." The crowd was so thick that if a mustard seed was dropped, it would not reach the ground. Yet, by the mercy of the Lord, everyone could happily see the Lord's face. On seeing the Lord's beautiful face, all the women made auspicious sounds and constantly chanted the name of Hare. At every doorstep, there were bunches of bananas, clay pots filled with water, coconuts, and mango twigs. There were most attractive ghee lamps burning in opulent places filled with yogurt, durva grass, and rice paddy. Every doorstep in Nadia was decorated in this way. Yet, no one knew who had done this. In their ecstasy, the men and women who chanted with the Lord did not know who else was present there. The thieves thought, "This is a golden opportunity. Today we will steal from each and every house." Ultimately, the thieves forgot their own plans, and nothing other than the name of Hare was heard from their mouths. The entire road was filled with puffed rice and small corn shells, but everyone was in such happiness that no one knew who brought them or who threw them. Do not consider these topics as exaggerations. Such things happen wherever Krishna enjoys. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is stated that 900,000 jewel palaces manifested within the blinking of an eye. That is from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 50, text 49 to 53. Canto 10, Chapter 50, text 49 to 53. At that time, when the Lord of the Brahmanas enjoyed water sports with the Yadavas in that abode of Dwarka, by his sweet will, the celebrated salty ocean transformed into an ocean of nectar. These confidential topics are described in the Haribamsa. Therefore, do not maintain any doubt in this regard. That same Lord now became overwhelmed in his own Kirtan, and all auspiciousness automatically manifest. As the Lord danced along the bank of the Ganges, everyone in front and behind the Lord chanted the name of Hare. Advaita Acharya led his group to the front and danced in great ecstasy as they proceeded along. Next, Haridas, an ocean of happiness in Krishna consciousness, danced beautifully as he proceeded along by the Lord's order. Thereafter, Srinivas, who was full of happiness in Krishna consciousness, danced in the procession. In this way, the devotees danced in the front of the procession. They were each surrounded by a group of singers. Lord Gaurasundara danced most enchantingly as he followed behind everyone. All the devotees began singing sweetly. Those who never sang before also engaged in singing. Murari, Mukunda Dutt, Ramai, Govinda, Krishna, and Vasudeva were among the devotees present there. They all danced and sang around the Lord, who continued along in great ecstasy. Nityananda and Gadadhara were along. Nityananda and Gadadhara went along on either side of the Lord. They both floated in the nectarian ocean of ecstatic love. As Mahaprabhu danced along the path, millions of people rushed to see him. Light from the millions of burning torches reflected like the moon rays on the bodies of everyone. Millions of large torches burned in the four directions, and millions of people chanted the name of Hare in the four directions. On seeing the Lord dancing and his wonderful transformations of love, all the people of Nadia became overwhelmed in ecstasy. Sometimes the Lord's entire body became covered with dust, and sometimes his entire body was washed by the tears of his eyes. On seeing the shivering of his body, the perspiration on his body, and the hairs of his body standing on end, even the heart of the atheists were moved. The entire city of Navadwip was filled with the vibration of Krishna's names. Everyone began to dance and chant the name of Hare. All those fortunate persons danced and sang, Hare, O Ram, Ram, Hare, O Ram, Ram. At various places along the way, 5 or 10 people would gather together, with some singing, some playing instruments, and some dancing in their midst. Millions of groups danced in ecstasy throughout Navadwip. They sang, Haraye Nama Krishnaya Davaya Namaha. Gopal Govindaram Srimad Sudan. Some people dance alone, and some dance and clap their hands in groups of 5 or 10. Although they held torches and oil pots in their 2 hands, it was most amazing how they simultaneously clapped their hands. It appeared that Vaikuntha had manifested in Navadwip, as all the inhabitants took on the characteristics found in Vaikuntha. All living entities assumed the 4 hands, yet being overwhelmed in ecstatic love for Krishna, they did not even notice. They did not notice that they had 4 arms. They even forgot themselves. So how did they clap their hands? In this way, the people of Navadwip enjoyed the happiness of Vaikuntha as they danced along the path near the Ganges. It appeared that the son of Nanda Maharaj had descended with an enchanting flute in his hands and a garland of forest flowers around his neck. While performing Kirtan in this way, everyone forgot their bodily characteristics, such as distress and lamentation. Some people rolled on the ground, and some clapped their hands. Various words manifested on the tongues of some people. Some said, "Where is that Kazi fellow now? If I find him, we will tear off his head." Some people ran to catch the atheist and some punched the ground while uttering the name of an atheist. Who can say how many people played mridangas? Who can say how many people sang in great ecstasy? There was such a downpour of ecstatic love of God all over Nadia that even the inhabitant of Vaikuntha hankered for it. All of Nadia floated in the mellows of the ecstasy that overwhelms Brahma, Ananta, and Shiva. The Lord of Vaikuntha danced along the bank of the Ganges with his associates, servants, weapons, and confidential companions. The earth had never witnessed such an ecstasy. The roads in all directions were filled with ecstasy. There was not the slightest misbehavior to be found anywhere. Each of those places became most sanctified. As Lord Gaurasundra danced along, his followers on all sides of him sang, "Let my mind be fixed at the lotus feet, O carrier of the bow. Let my mind be fixed at the lotus feet." As the devotees chanted in Lord Chaitanya's first Sankirtan procession, Sri Sachinandana danced. As the devotees performed Kirtan with the Lord, they forgot what direction they were going. The sound of Hari's name vibrated by millions of people, penetrated the universe. Everyone in Brahmaloka, Sivaloka, and even Vaikuntha became filled with the unlimited happiness of Krishna consciousness. All the demigods, along with their associates, came to see. They all fainted on seeing the Kirtan. When the demigods regained consciousness, they took human forms and joined the Kirtan. Demigods headed by Brahma, Shiva, Varuna, Kubera, Indra, Yamaraj, and Soma saw those wonderful persons manifest spiritual happiness. So, they took on human forms to associate with Lord Chaitanya. As the demigods and human beings chanted together the name of Hare, the light from the big torches filled the entire sky. There were banana trees, full water pot, rice paddy, druba grass, ghee lamps, and mango twigs at each and every doorstep. Who has the ability to describe the opulence of Nadia, which consisted of innumerable towns, houses, raised platforms, and markets? There were hundreds of millions of people from each caste. What fool would try to estimate the number? Realizing that the Lord would incarnate, the Creator had arranged that everything was present there. Even in 100,000 years, I cannot describe the laws and describe the lady's vibrations of auspicious sounds and Hari's name. Those who saw the Lord dancing down the road were unable to control their emotions. On seeing such compassion and on hearing such crying, even the greatest devotees fell to the ground weeping. Sri Gaurasundra danced and called out, "Chant, chant!" His body was decorated with an enchanting flower garland. He wore a Brahmana thread and a dhoti with 3 corners touched in. The body of the lotus idol was covered with dust. Tears of love flowed from his eyes like the current of the Ganges. The minds of those who saw his face were no longer attracted to the moon. The thin stream of liquid that flowed incessantly from his nose looked like a tiny string of pearls. The Lord's beautiful curly hair was wonderfully attractively decorated with a garland of jasmines. O Lord, please give us the benediction that this person may remain in our heart birth after birth. All the worlds asked for this benediction as the son of Sati downs the road. The dear associate of the Lord danced in front, and the Lord of Vaikuntha danced behind. Lord Chaitanya knows how to glorify his devotees. He acts according to the desires of his devotees. In this way, Mahaprabhu and his devotees down the road by the side of the Ganges. The Lord of Vaikuntha danced throughout Nadia as the devotees sang his auspicious glories in the four directions. O bewildered people, chant the name of Hare. Even Namabhas delivers one from the fear of Yamaraj. Gaura Chandra, whose lotus feet are served by the demigods headed by Brahma, dance in the midst of this chanting. Vishwambara, the Lord of the universe, danced on the bank of the Ganges. All the people, they happily took the dust from his feet on their heads. He displayed wonderful symptoms of ecstatic love. Tears flowed from his eyes, and he roared loudly. He raised his hands and smiled as he chanted the name of Hare. The body of Gaura was more beautiful than that of Cupid. The fine clothes he wore and the flower garland adorning his curly hair acted like the 5 arrows of Cupid. His transcendental body was smeared with sandalwood pulp, and his neck was adorned with a garland of forest flowers. Out of ecstasy, the son of Sati tottered to and fro. His 2 eyebrows resembled the bow of Cupid. His forehead was decorated with dots of sandalwood paste. His teeth resembled rows of pearls. His face was enchanting, and his nature was an ocean of mercy. I am unable to describe the hundreds and wonderful transformations of love, such as tears, shivering, perspiring, hair standing on end, and a fading of bodily luster that manifests on his body. Sometimes he stood in a threefold bending form and pretended to play a flute with his fingers. His walking like a maddened elephant pleased the eyes of all. An enchanting Brahmana thread adorned his chest, which was filled with compassion. It appears that the glorious Ananta had assumed that form with his desire to touch the Lord. Nityananda Chandra and the son of Madhava were on either side of the Lord. As his dear associate performed Kirtan, the Lord looked at them and smiled. Shiva forgot his touches. Shiva forgot his clothes by constantly chanting the glories of that Lord who was now enjoying Kirtan pastimes throughout the street of Navadwip. Kamala, the goddess of fortune, desires to see the dress, the body, and the hair of that Lord who was now rolling in the dust of the street of Navadwip. I cannot describe the happiness that was manifest by the illumination from the millions of torches and the rays of the moon. No one in the entire world uttered anything other than the name of Hare. On seeing those wonderful pastimes, everyone was overwhelmed with ecstasy. They all looked at one another and exclaimed, Hare Bol! Nityananda always knew what form the Lord's ecstasy was taking. When the Lord was about to fall, Nityananda stretches his arms out to support him. Mahaprabhu grabbed Nityananda and sat down in the posture of Virasana. In a joyful mood, he then clapped his left side, smiled, and chanted, Hare! Hare! Sometimes he openly declared, I am Narayan. I killed the demon Kamsa, and thus became known as the enemy of Kamsa. I am Vamana, who deceived Bali. I am the king of the Raghu dynasty, who built a bridge over the ocean and killed Ravana. The Lord will roar loudly and reveal his own glories while looking in the four directions. Who can understand the truth of his inconceivable glories? In the very next moment, he will take a straw between his teeth and beg for devotional service while calling out, O Lord, O Lord. All of Gaurasundar's pastimes, such as putting his toe in his mouth, are most enchanting. Lord Vishwambara, the Lord of Vaikuntha, danced throughout Navadvip, which the Vedas will later reveal is not different from Shwetadvip. No one could count the vampas, mridangas, karalas, and conch shells that were vibrated. The breast of the Brahmanas danced amidst the tumultuous vibration of Hari's names. All glories to the Sankirtan procession. All glories to the dancing of Vishwambara. All glories to the 20 verses that describe the characteristics of Lord Chaitanya. All glories to the servant of Lord Chaitanya. In whatever direction Lord Vishwambara danced, everyone floated in the waves of ecstatic love. I, Vrindavan Das Thakura, sing the glories of Sri Krishna Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda. In this way, the Lord of all joyfully performed Kirtan in all the towns of Navadvip. The uninterrupted sound of everyone chanting the name of Hare penetrated the universe and entered Vaikuntha. On hearing that vibration, Sri Gaurasundar, the sun, and the Lord of Vaikuntha jumped high in ecstasy. The waves of the Lord's ecstasy could overcome a maddened lion. On seeing that manifestation, everyone's happiness increased. Lord Gouranga first danced along the path on the bank of the Ganges in Nadia. After first dancing for a long time at his own ghat, Gaura Hari proceeded to Madai's ghat. After passing by Barakona Ghat and Gariya Ghat, he went to Ganga Nagara to Simulia. Millions of large torches burned in the four directions and millions of people chanted the name of Hare in the four directions. The entire scene looked most beautiful, most wonderful in the moon rays. No one could tell whether it was day or night. At every doorstep, there were auspicious items like bananas, clay pots filled with water, mango trees, and ghee lamps. The demigod showered champaka and malika flowers from the sky. The flowers that were showered on Navadvip appeared like the tongues of Mother Earth. Some made noise with their mouth like various musical instruments, and some climbed on another's shoulders in ecstasy. Some grabbed others' feet and cried, and some tied others' feet with their hair. Some offered obeisances at the feet of others, and some embraced others. Someone said, I am Nimai Pandit. I have adventured to deliver the world. Someone else said, I am a voiceover from Navadwip. Another person said, I am an associate of the Lord from Vaikuntha. Someone said, where is Ekazi now? If I catch him, I will smash his head. Some ran to catch the atheist, exclaiming, catch him! There goes a sinful atheist running away. In their happiness, some people repeatedly climbed up a tree and jumped to the ground. Expressing their anger, some broke tree branches, and some said, I am death personified for the atheist. Someone made some loud, unnatural sounds, and someone went to arrest Yamaraj and bring him there. Standing there, he said, O Yamadutas, go and inform your master, the son of Surya, that the Lord of Vaikuntha has incarnated in the house of Sachi, and he is personally performing Kirtan throughout the city of Navadwip. By the influence of the holy names, Yama became renounced as Dharmaraj, the authority on religious principles. By the influence of the holy names, the fallen Brahmana Ajamila was delivered. The Lord is now inducing everyone to chant those holy names, and those who are unable to chant are hearing those names. So if Yama attempts to display his authority by punishing any living entities, then I cannot be blamed when I destroy him. Go quickly and inform Chitragupta that he should immediately destroy the record of the sinners. By the influence of these names, Varanasi had become celebrated as a king of the holy places. The transcendentally situated resident of Navadwip chant these holy names. By the influence of these names, Maheshwara has become worshipable by all. Now everyone is hearing and chanting these holy names. Chant these holy names, give up all wicked activities, and worship Vishwambara. Otherwise, I will destroy you. Some people ran around in all directions calling, Kachi, Kachi! He has tricked us and escaped somewhere. Now, where are those sinful atheists who did not accept the chanting of Krishna's names? Some of them punched the ground while calling out the name of some atheists. Then they roared loudly and wandered about chanting the name of Hare. In this way, being always maddened with the ecstasy of Krishna consciousness, they did not remember what they said or what they did. As the atheists saw the maddened condition of the townspeople, they burned with envy. The atheists all simultaneously desired, if the Lord is willing, let the Kazi come now. Then what will happen to all this pomp and fun? What will happen to the loud screaming? What will happen to the dancing and singing? What will happen to their big shows? Then what will happen to their banana trees, water pots, and mango leaves? Then they will receive a suitable reward for their threats. The Kazi will see all these big torches, and he will see all these sentimental devotees. The Kazi will also hear the great commotion, and then we will see all the devotees jump into the Ganges. Someone else said, then I will stay around and bind all those fellows by the neck and burn them and turn them in. Another said, let us go and inform the Kazi. Someone else said, that is not very reasonable. Someone said, oh brothers, I have an idea. Let us quickly approach those sentimental devotees. We will tell them the Kazi is coming. Then not even a single person will remain here. In this way, the atheists conspired among themselves, while Lord Chaitanya associate became maddened by chanting the name of Lord Hare. They were all decorated with sandalwood pulp and flower garlands. In ecstasy, they all chanted the name of Krishna. As the Lord danced down the road, he came to the village of Sumilia, which was situated on the outskirts of Nadia. Unlimited millions of people chanted the name of Hare as the Christ jewel of the Brahmanas danced and roared loudly. Who knows how much pure water in how many streams flowed from the lotus eyes of the Lord? Shivering in ecstasy, the Lord jumped high in the air and then fell down. Nityananda lamented because he could not support the Lord. Eventually, the Lord fell unconscious in ecstasy, and everyone became shocked when his body showed no signs of life for 3 hours. On seeing such wonderful characteristics, they all concluded, this personality must be Lord Narayan. Some people said he is like Narada, Prahlad, or Sukadev. Others said, whoever he may be, he is certainly not an ordinary human. As the Lord approached the Kazi's house, the Kazi heard a loud vibration of the musical instrument. The Kazi said, listen, brothers, what is that singing and music? Is it someone's marriage? Or is it the Kirtan of some ghostly beings? Go quickly and see who is transgressing my order by following the Hindu rituals. Then I will go myself. The Kazi's servant ran off after receiving his order. When they saw the huge gathering, they remembered their scriptures. Unlimited millions of people were shouting, kill the Kazi! Hearing this, the Kazi's servants ran away in fear. They ran quickly and told the Kazi, what can you do? Let us quickly run away. Millions and millions of people are coming this way with Nimai Acharya. They are fully prepared. Who knows what they will do today? Millions of people are chanting the names of the Hindu god while carrying hundreds of thousands of large burning torches. We saw bananas, water pot, and mango leaves at every doorstep, and the street of Nadia were decorated with flowers. We could not even imagine how much puff rice and Kaddi's small conches were being showered. Our ears were almost shattered from the sound of the musical instruments. There is not such an arrangement in the village of Nadia, even when the king comes. Nimai Pandit is the leader of those sentimental devotees. In whatever direction he dances, everyone follows. The same townspeople that we once beat are shouting, today we will kill the Kazi. This Nimai Acharya is making all this propaganda. This Hindu prophet is doing all this. One of them said, I can't understand why this Brahmana cries so much. It appears as if a river is flowing from his 2 eyes. Another said, I think this Brahmana must be missing someone. Therefore, he always cries in distress. Someone else said, this Brahmana looks frightening. I tremble on seeing his form that appears ready to devour everything. The Kazi said, I think Nimai Pandit is going somewhere to get married. If they have transgressed my order by engaging in Hindu rituals, I will take away the caste of everyone in town. As the Kazi was planning in this way, he suddenly heard the tumultuous sound of the characters in the Kirtan. Lord Vishwambara, the great jewel of all, came dancing with the Kazi's within the Kazi's neighborhood. The tumultuous sound of millions of people chanting the names of Hare permeated the entire atmosphere, including Swarga, Martya, and Patalokas. On hearing that sound, the Kazi trembled and ran away with his servant like a frog or a mouse runs away in fear of snake. Yet in their fear, they didn't know which way to run, because the entire area was filled with Vishwambara's associates. Some of them took off their turbans and joined the Kirtan. As they danced incognito, they trembled in fear. Those who had beards hung their heads down. They were too embarrassed to raise their heads, and their heart trembled in fear. None of the unlimited millions of people could recognize any of them. Those people were not even conscious of their own bodies. Everyone danced and sang in ecstasy. Their chanting of Hari's name filled the entire universe. When Lord Vishwambara came to the Kazi's house, he roared loudly in anger. In that angry state, the Lord said, "Where is that fellow Kazi? Bring him here quickly, and I will cut off his head. Today I will rid the entire world of Yavanas, just as I previously killed Kalyavana." Where can the Kazi go to save his life? The Lord then repeatedly ordered, "Break his house! Break his house!" The Son of Sati is the super soul in the heart of all living entities, who is capable of transgressing his order. Everyone was greatly intoxicated with the ecstasy of love for Lord Chaitanya. On his order, they entered the house. Some tore apart the rooms, broke down the doors. Some kicked the house, and some roared loudly. Some broke the branches of the mango and jackfruit trees, and some uprooted the banana trees while chanting the name of Hare. Hundreds and thousands of people entered the flower garden and uprooted all the plants while roaring loudly. They tore the flowers with their stems from the uprooted plants and tucked them behind their ears while chanting the name of Hare. Even if everyone there took just one leaf each, there would not even be anyone left in the Kazi's house. When the outside of the Kazi's house was broken, the Lord ordered, "Burn the inside of the house. Let the Kazi burn to death along with his associate. Surround the house and set it on fire from all sides. Let me see what his king can do to me. Let me see who will save the Kazi today." Yeah, Maharaj, time and death are the servant of my servant. Everything is manifested by my glance. I have incarnated to inaugurate the Sankirtan movement. I will destroy those sinners who are inimical to Kirtan. If even the most sinful person chant the holy names, I will certainly remember him. But if even ascetics, sannyasis, gyanis, and yogis do not engage in Kirtan, I will destroy them. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.